Doc Martin, the lone journalist from KRAZ-TV, broadcasting here at the Zero Channel. I'm located at the Avalon Gardens in the Cholla Forest. See that tree behind me? A noble tree. Well, books in review. Got another great one here. Ages in Chaos. Immanuel Velikovsky, author of Worlds in Collision and Earth in Upheaval. A reconstruction of ancient history from the Exodus to King Akhenaten. If Dr. Velikovsky is right, this volume is the greatest contribution to the investigation of ancient times ever written. Dr. Robert H. Pfeiffer, butcher names again, Harvard University. Wow. Well, Ages in Chaos, published in April of 1950, Immanuel Velikovsky's first epic-making book, Worlds in Collision, created a fervor all over the world. As the most controversial book in many ages, or decades, it was the subject of more than 3,000 reviews, and one. And defenders and opponents debated it with such a horror that it reserved only for books that lay bare new fundamentals. Now, in Ages in Chaos, he presents another aspect of a startling theory, a unique and radical revision of ancient history. Taking for the starting point the simultaneity of physical catastrophes described in the Book of Exodus and in the Egyptian documents, Dr. Velikovsky reconstructs the political and cultural histories of the nations of the ancient world. His reconstruction places before the reader these questions. Are 600 years missing from Israel's history, or have 600 ghost years crept into Egypt's history? Documents are collated for each generation over 1,200 years, and the intriguing march over centuries presents itself as an exciting and fact-filled hunt after the era which caused the histories of the ancient world to become ages in chaos. Hear the birds behind me? With happenings that never took place, kings that never reigned, and battles that were never fought. Among the impressive findings which this exhaustive research has brought to light is the story of the plagues which preceded the Exodus, as written by the Egyptian eyewitness, the illustrated diary of the biblical Queen of Sheba, of her fabulous visit to the Holy Land, the vessels and furnishings of the Temple of Solomon reproduced from a Egyptian bas-relief, and letters formerly believed written by pre-Israelite princes of Canaan, now convincingly shown to have been written by kings of Judah and Israel and their generations, known by their names from the scriptures. Dr. Velikovsky's work greatly enriches the record of biblical history and changes the concept of the cultural and historical progress of Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, Greece, and other lands of the ancient East. In addition to offering fascinating reading, Ages in Chaos is of tremendous importance. If its arguments stand the test of future discoveries, all the known textbooks of ancient history must be radically rewritten. That's real. So, it's a fascinating history, one that, well, like they said, probably has to be returned. Other books by Immanuel Velikovsky, Worlds in Collision, Ages in Chaos, Earth in Upheaval, Oedipus and Akhenaten, Peoples of the Sea, and Ramses II in his time. Now, it has a It was printed in here in 1978 and all this. So this book had to come after that, but it's only writing in here from the library is copyright 1952 by Immanuel Velikovsky. So, yeah, I got this book from my mother's library. She was a published writer. Well, we have books with her in other libraries here. But it's a fascinating story. The Queen of Sheba, the Hyksos. Now, people used to think the Hyksos were them. But what really happened was way back sometime, there was a lot of upheaval in the earth. There were big tsunamis. There were, the Minoans at Knossos, the Mycenaeans, and Greece had a lot of, earthquakes, things like that. So probably what they figure happened is that at that time, the land was in big upheaval. We're talking about huge storms and chaos and geologic epochs. So probably they theorized that just as soon as that happened, the Israelites that were in bondage booked up and left because nobody was there to oppose them. So they weren't the Hyksos. The Hyksos came afterwards. There were three major Old Kingdom, Middle Kingdom, and New Kingdom. But between the Middle Kingdom and the New Kingdom, the Hyksos. They're also, they think, called the Amalekites, which were eastern tribes, and they even swear they were Bedouins and all. So I don't know about that, but they were cruel, and they finally got thrown off. So it had to have been a long time ago because they said that Saul finally ran them out. But supposedly they built Jerusalem long before the Israelites came to Israel and Canaan and all, and Judah and all those places in the present day of where Israel is now. So the history is backed up by a lot of scholarly comparisons between older writings by the Egyptians and their carvings on the tombs and things like that at Thebes and all that. But it's also backed up by later the exact same words and names and everything of Israelites and Talmud and Old Testament. So it kind of puts them together that somewhere somebody lost 600 years and somebody gained 600 years. But something happened on the earth that they said when Moses went east, he was guided at night by a pillar of fire and a pillar in the daytime of smoke. Well, what it was a volcano. It was their guide on to move east. And they did meet some of these tribes that were going hauling across the desert to go to Egypt and subvert it, take it over, and rob it, and all of that stuff. So they did have their complications. And there was a pharaoh that was killed in a whirlpool in pursuit of somebody. So the sea did run up on the land and catch him. Now, I don't know whether they actually parted the sea, but in tsunamis and stuff, the water does go out for quite a ways. So, and a long time ago, the water, they said, was 500 feet higher. But way back, the water in the, Hormuz Straits was way out, 15 miles out, where the water is now today. So there's been a lot of sea changes and landmass movements and things like that. So there is great possibilities. It's a possibility you should read this book because, well, it throws a new light on things. And that's why we're here at KRAZ-TV and the Zero Channel, to shed new light, bring joy, and, well, do book reviews like this. I hope I've covered some part of it. I want you to read the book if you can, because Velikovsky is a controversial writer. His father had visions to bring Israel back to I don't know if he was a Zionist, but he was one of the elders of the vision. So anyways, see you later, and thanks for watching Carrie's ZTV here at the Zero Channel. We may be an adult site for books like this, but some things like this need to be told only here. The Zero Channel thanks you, and keep watching from Carrie's ZTV. This is Dr. Martin, the Lone Journalist.